So that means your brain is born, it has to undergo development. So that means that even if they are not taught by anybody else, by 2 or 3, they will begin to have that distinction. The brain is programmed naturally is programmed. It's programmed.
Small question, you were saying then if every object would know its oneness, then there would be no game. You were saying game.
So game in the sense,
yeah, please, this word, please explain me why.
No, game in the sense that, then there is no confusion.
Yes.
In the sense that everybody will live as what the whole. Nobody will live as a person who is what I am other than you. The very fact that before we come to Vedanta, we live like one individual which is separate from everything else. That means that we live under a cover.
Nobody has accumulated any karma in any other one.
Exactly. See, if I know that all that is here is Ishvara, and if I also know that all that is here and there is, wherever there is Ishvara, there is truth of Ishvara, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, then there is no karma. Then there is no karma phala, then there is no nothing. So that means that cover is something which is part of this Maya. See, you can't argue because if I ask you, do you know the fact that all that is here is, before you came to Vedanta, you lived your life. Did you know that all that was here is one? No. So that means there is a cover. So the very fact that you don't know means there is a cover.
What I don't understand is that you said it's the wheeling power of Maya. So we said before that Maya is the unmanifest. So how can the unmanifest be part of the manifest then?
No, see, see what I said is the knowledge and power has to precede the creation, right? So that means when it is an unmanifest form, it gets the name what? Maya. So when it manifests, there is a manifestation. From this potential it manifests. And the way it manifests and at the same, it comes with that, the wheel.
But isn't it then a wheel of Ishvara?
So yeah, you can also say, I mean that's true. Because the minute it manifests, it becomes then Ishvara also. But that Maya has two kinds of, the original. Yes, original is Maya.
Actually, in a way, the Maya word is essentially what it appears is not. In that sense, if you say, I'm just trying to explain, it may be wrong also. When the unmanifest form, it is Ishvara, it has a potential but doesn't look like manifested. So it's a Maya in that sense. And similarly, when you're born, you are supposed to know that this is your Jiva, which is not. So is that a common word you can use for Maya that way? Both are Maya in that sense.
What?
I said very true. Because when you have unmanifest form, we call
who's in unmanifest form?
No. In the Ishvara, unmanifest form, you said it's a Maya.
Okay.
And it doesn't, at the unmanifest form, you're saying it's Maya because it is, Ishvara is a manifest form.
Yeah.
So it's a deceptive look on saying it is not what it is, but actually it is the intelligence is there, but it doesn't look that way because it's unmanifest.
Yeah, because it's unmanifest.
Correct. Similarly, when we are born with a cover which appears that we are a Jiva, which we are not.
Yeah.
And therefore that is also Maya. In both ways, it is not what is not but appears to be is the common thing on both sides. So that therefore Maya can apply both ways as a word.
What we say is that Maya is upadhi for, and this is Ishvara. We can say there are many different ways that people say that this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma has two upadhi. One is what Ishvara upadhi and the other one is Jiva upadhi. Sometimes people say Maya upadhi and Jiva upadhi. So that means there are two different upadhis. Here it is referred to as all knowledge and all power. And here it is referred to as something which is under the spell of ignorance. This is wielding the ignorance. This is what under the spell of ignorance. That's how it is used. Now,
there are no two Mayas.
No.
I was just trying to understand Maya as a concept.
Now,
You have to take out our Indian meaning of Maya. If you stick to Indian meaning of Maya, you will get confused.
the way our teacher used to also explain, and this Lutz is asking a good question. See, our teacher used to also explain that this projection and covering is something which is not only at the first level, that when the universe is projected and jivas don't know about the real nature of the universe, that level you can take. But you can take it at every level in the creation. So that means you can also attribute it to Ishvara. Because while the creation is there, is also covering. So this is, he used to give an example that imagine that the atoms have potential to be anything in this universe, ultimately. It can potentially be a mountain, it can potentially be a river, it can potentially be gold, it can be potentially a silver, it has potential to be everything. But that one given potential, when it is a mountain, the possibility that it is gold and silver is what? Blocked. You see what I mean?
Neema is not a good example because there are different atoms. It's better to come to the stem cell.
Okay, stem cell. So that is, but in fact, yeah.
No, because the atoms which constitute a mountain and gold and so on will be different.
No, but the thing is, yeah. So, but at the level of particles,
so then at the level of particles,
yes.
There are some basic particles.
It's
better to take
so
the
that,
stem cells.
Yeah. So okay, let's change the example. Okay. So I gave the example of a stem cell. So stem cell has a potential to be a liver cell. It has a potential to be a kidney cell. So what happens is that cell has a potential to be everything. Now when it is placed in kidney, then what happens? It acts like what? Kidney cell. So that means the potential of liver and any other organ is what? Blocked. So this is also how you can say that from the same material you can create infinite forms, because they all have a potential, but what? You manifest a given potential and you block some potential. And this is how the whole universe of varied names and forms is made from what? Same basic building material. So that way also you can see. So your point is very good. So even in Ishvara you find what? Projection and covering. So that's a good point. Because in fact it's the same thing. The knowledge and power is the same thing. Yeah, you just get different names. One is called Maya because there is not yet the Jagat. The other one is called Ishvara. There are no two different entities. Yeah.
See, you can take the example of the sand. It's good, but it's better. The sand is more adequate. Because if you make a combination of sand and you do a design of a mountain and some people, this is what is projected. But then the other combinations are blocked.
Yeah.
Where potentially this sand can appear in so many, but by the moment you express and manifest and collapse one, you are blocking by this simple fact the other possibility. An artist, a writer, a painter is carrying so much in him because it's infinite and he cannot express everything at the same time. So while he expresses one, the other are blocked. Then he expresses another, so many others are blocked, and so on.
So this is what Anna kind of ended by saying that this is a box of sand and so many things I have done with it and so many other will come in the future, but it still remains a box of sand. So that means you are manifesting some and you are blocking some, right, at a given point in time. So
that means you can translate it to bring it to every example in the world.
Every example in the world,
everything.
exactly.
Because if something is manifested, the choice is taken.
Yes.
And then
That's to 7.
Exactly.
The other
So that means
1,000 possibilities. are
thousands and thousands and thousands of possibilities. Yeah.
And see, and another way to look at it is very simple also. You have infinite knowledge. I mean, the knowledge is like so huge.
I'll show you.
So then, you are somehow constrained, I mean not constrained, but you are only collapsing a few possibilities within a time and space and this universe. And there are so many infinite numbers of universes which are possible, which are still to come and which have gone in the past. So from the standpoint of Ishvara, this is that you are choosing to manifest a particular set, in fact, of karmas, of all the jivas, and you are blocking some others. That's all. So see how avarana and vikshepa goes together every time. And the other thing, what I wanted to also just to add here, is that this avarana, so we are seeing it is that we can, what we thought was only at the level of the jiva, the ignorance of the reality of things. It applies also, it can be also seen with the standpoint of this manifesting and blocking some of the manifestation. Okay? So this is what is interesting. Otherwise you are speaking of Maya only as vikshepa for the universe and avarana only for the individual. You see? But in fact this vikshepa and avarana can be also at the level of the universe and also this projection. Okay? Manifest to unmanifest to manifest. You see what I mean?
Yeah, so that's what you just explained.
Yeah, this is what we say.
So can we summarize that we have a awareness which is limitlessness, which is a Maya in potential form, and then when it manifests it becomes Ishvara, all knowledge, all intelligence, which makes the whole universe and different forms, and all forms are ignorant of their true nature, and that's how the whole thing works.
Yeah.
Can you summarize like
You can say like that, but as I said, you have to be careful when you say this awareness has this power, because when you say it is attributeless, so then it is as though. So this is why, because otherwise what will happen, the creation will become real, then the Ishvara also will become real. But when you say everything is mithya, then you will have multiple realities. You will have Brahman, you will have Maya, you will have Ishvara, you will have Jiva, you will have everything. Now the trick here is, these are all different names for one reality. And they have Satya-Mithya relationship. Well, one thing depends upon the other one is independent of that. So that means all these different names that you give are for one reality, which is Brahman, which has no attributes. And that Brahman is your true nature. Where is it available? In your buddhi as self-evident type. So this is what we call what it is Maya. So here he says that this non-dual, that the possession of Maya, what rules all the world, right? And that the power and what and this is why, see, the thing is, a jiva, even though ultimately it is what Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, he does not know this reality. So that means when you are under avarana, you can't pretend that I am that, because it's not yet the reality for you. So you need to use pramana, and you need to prepare yourself to understand the pramana to be the other side of Maya. Otherwise you are what? The Ishvara is the builder of Maya and you are under the spell of Maya. Maya is Ishvara's capacity, which is the power of all knowledge and all power. And you are under what? The spell of all knowledge and all power, in the sense that you see yourself not as one, but you see yourself as what? One among many. So that means you are operating within ignorance. You can't pretend that I am. See, until you are within ignorance, you have to accept what?
That you are
Exactly. If you try to negate it without removing the ignorance, what will happen? You pretend as though ignorance is removed while you are still within the spell of ignorance.
and then you stop doing any action.
Then, exactly. So that becomes dangerous. So, that's why it's sanity. When you are under ignorance, you don't say, oh yeah, because I am Brahman and therefore, then that doesn't work because you are still under spell of ignorance. So therefore, and your attempt is to know that Brahman. And until it is known, you are not a Jiva. So that means.
And no one will certify that now you know it. It has to be self-realization only.
Yeah, of course. But at the same time, as I told you, that other people may not know, but a wise person can kind of a little bit recognize the other wise person. Because the minute you open your mouth, you give up your...
Very clearly.
Very clearly.
Your behavior will say it.
It's very easy. For somebody who has clarity, like Swamiji used to laugh, because people come to him so seriously. Swamiji, I got it, And he'll ask two, and then he'll make, he was a very funny character. I mean, he was a very jovial, very light-hearted, So then he'll tell us in the class also, he's like, yeah, people come to me very seriously, and tell me all kinds of things, and I'm like, oh my God.
How do we recognize those people?
Who?
That they have removed the ignorance and they are now, they
Yeah.
have got their
See,
awareness.
And satsang will see.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you
See, now just, see, one thing is, the only, you also don't know because when you are under spell of ignorance, everybody looks wonderful. Even if somebody tells you little inspiring stories, it sounds, oh wow, this is so good. Right? So that means that the only way is that, and this is how, there are so many people who are so attracted to so many different kinds of people and they all love them. And when you listen to them, it's like, what are they saying? But they love and they think that they have so much clarity and they are all very, because unless they thought they are wise, they will not be with them. But that doesn't say much. So this is why what we do is we give you clarity. We don't make any claims. We don't, nobody starts by, teacher doesn't start by, I'm a wise person and I'll make you wise. He starts teaching. And in his teaching, if you are intelligent, you will be able to see what? Clarity. He's making you see things which you, and it's not a matter of belief. If you're getting into a belief mode, he will deliberately what? Stop it. Because in fact, when somebody is believing you, it makes things very easy for you. If I am saying whatever and you are believing me without questioning, the job becomes very easy for me. But if I am discouraging that, that means what? I am not interested in what? Bringing you under my fold. I am interested in what? Making you see things.
Removing the ignorance.
Removing the ignorance. That's why this whole Gurudom is a very, very dangerous thing, because everybody, this is why I don't, it's not a matter of gathering more Shishyas. If that is your mission, you will say things which are simple, easily understandable, whether they make little logic or not. You tell some stories, you tell some things, some little inspiration, and you will get people flocking to you. So that means their interest is not to have more and more people flocking to you. Their interest is in making you see the other person see things. So now, and in order for you to see that, you also have to be intelligent. Otherwise, you will say, yeah, what is this person saying? I want something simple. Make it simple and give it to me. This is too complicated. So that means you also have to have what? Certain amount of clarity from where you operate to then see that, hey, this person is making me see things and not what? Putting me on a belief mode. And the more you apply your mind and more you are able to see things, the more you can give benefit of doubt to that person that, hey, this person seems to know something. And you know it totally that this person knows when you get it totally. Because when that person is able to transfer the entire vision to you, then you know what this person knows. Yeah. So this is how the whole thing is. That's why we have to go with what? Not analytical mind. That is the first condition for Vedanta. You have to develop your reasoning capacity. And you have to not get discouraged by rigor. These are some preconditions for Vedanta, a real Vedanta. And the more you understand the dots and the more you start connecting the dots, then what? The vision becomes clear. So this is how it is. So now Maya was explained, and the next we will see what next. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate